I do all. This is another video of the Red Sea REEFER 250 SPS dominant. This is a video to show you where we are now and what's going to be happening moving forward. So I'm going to be mentioning a few of the things that I was talking about from last week predominantly. So I just thought I'd get a quick video of this purple tang because it's quite a hard fish to film. Super pretty though. Anyway, so I'll start with this. I was talking quite a bit last week about a coral called a sunset Millapora. It's a coral I was after for quite a while. Finally managed to get one. I explained to you that it appeared that it had came to me as a brand new frag, which I ain't got much call for. Appeared to be stripping when I had it, and obviously, as you can see, it's bleached out over time. I didn't want to move it from where I first put it, but I just wanted to fight through and just monitor it and see what happened. I eventually caved and thought, you know, most of this coral's bleached out. If I could take the tops off and try and keep as much of the living flesh as I can, dip it, try moving it a bit higher, maybe a little bit more flow or something. I wasn't really sure. I was just shooting for the fences, hoping for the best. Didn't really work out, to be honest with you. I didn't think it was going to make it anyway, but so we'll have to try again on that one. I'm a bit bummed out that it didn't make it. Really nice looking coral, but you know, things do happen. Corals, you know, aren't easy to keep, to be honest, especially when you're getting into the SPS and that. They're not the easiest things to keep. Coupled with getting one that's already in bad condition, not going to work out. On top of that, as you probably would have noticed by now in some of the background, there's little tiny patches of algae everywhere from, I also mentioned a bit of a algae jump I had, and you know, as soon as it come up I started trying to smash it back down, really doing water changes in those kind of scenarios where I panic. I think your water change is your best buffer. It's not really worth going, oh, what if I change this, what if I do that? It's quicker just to do a bit of an immediate swipe at the phosphates or nitrates or whatever is going on with a water change, so that's what I've been doing. Algae has died off a lot. All this back rock here was covered, and to give you an idea what I mean by covered like this. So that's pretty gruesome. That's the worst in the tank. Anything that goes on in this tank to do with algae, it's this rock. I'll take a bit of a zoom out so you can see exactly what rock I'm sort of talking about, but it's like this bridge that I have, and believe it or not, this this rock, it was totally covered. You can see little, I don't know what you call them, holes of death where it's just slowly dying off. Fingers crossed it just keeps receding, and then keep doing the water changes to remove what's going back into the water so it doesn't happen again, and just keep on like that. But I've been to and from what exactly to do with this particular piece of rock, because it does seem to be a trouble piece. You'd think it was purely down to flow, because obviously if you have real strong flow in some areas, algae, especially this kind of stuff, algae or bacteria or whatever, just don't seem to grow so well when they're in that super high flow, a lot of them. Of course there's probably some that still will, but in this case I didn't know what to do with this piece of rock. So if anyone's got any ideas, as you can see, all I'm doing is just leaving it there and fighting through it bit by bit. But you know, I've toyed with the idea of taking it out, scraping it off, trying to blast it all out of there and putting it back. You know, taking the sunset Setosa out of there, and, well, not out, you know, just moving it, and going that route and seeing what I can do with it just isolated with nothing else going on there. I mean, I've even toyed with the idea of changing my scape again. Doing stuff like that really pisses me off, because, you know, I don't like change. I do like stability and stuff like that, but I have kind of been thinking if there's ways that I could better utilise what I've got. I've got all the good stuff going on right in the middle of the tank. Yeah, I don't know, because this is a really cool rock structure that I managed to make. How that, you know, that sticks out quite a way. and it's just, I don't know, I think that looks really cool, and I was just wondering if I could have it, if it looked better if it was side on. Maybe give myself a bit more real estate for corals and stuff like that, because obviously like it looks like quite empty in there at the minute, because there's not a lot of there's a lot of corals in there, but they're all small. You know, we got these two are kind of, say, tennis ball sized. That forest fire's reasonable size, that's probably tennis ball too, and so is this Setosa. The biggest coral in there is, well, it'd be this thing, this digitata at the back. That's out of the way. You know, I don't know, it's me, isn't it? So I'll probably end up leaving it like that. Like sometimes if you change things once you're starting to get to the point where things are establishing, but you know, it'd be a bit of a heartbreak if I've got a lot of corals, like I said before, basing out and stuff. If I moved anything and then suddenly that growth went or receded or whatever, I'd be so pissed off with myself for interfering. So that's that anyway. Couple other things I was going to mention. A pump you can see on the back there to the left. I'm probably going to go ahead and put another pump on the right. I don't know why I haven't already, to be honest, because I like I like symmetry and stuff like that. So, you know, what's the point in having one pump on this side where there's actually probably not so much going on? Everything really meets in the middle. But I've got some more of the serious stuff on this side, and yet no pump on this side. And also, out of the two gyres, this one's dying of old age, I think. I don't really know. And that's a good point, actually. Anyone who might be watching this who has gyres, I've had that one on the top right. We're talking years. Probably over 3 years. We'll call it about 4 years, probably near enough. I can't remember when they came out, but I'm thinking I got that. That'd be the 130, by the way. When they sort of came out, I'm not 100%, but I don't think I was far behind when they first came out. I definitely had the originals. That one had to have its original motor, and that changed or whatever it was. No, it wasn't. It was the blades. The blades needed upgrading. Because the original ones, they'd last like a week, and then you'd come down in the morning and just be, you're like, what the hell's that fucking noise? And it'd be your pumps are like grinding away because they've all come apart. Now, when you buy these gyre pumps now, it's one piece. The impeller or propeller or whatever, I think it's impeller in this case, is it's one piece. It's not like three pieces or whatever that can be smashed up. It's just one solid piece. They're really good pumps. If anyone on here, even though that one's upgraded, has got ones that are sort of got to the age and now they're just like even 100%, you can tell that they're not performing to what they were, which is a shame. You know, these things are not cheap. I do bath them fairly regularly. The last couple of times has been a bit late, to be honest with you, but I do try and keep them reasonably clean. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know. I mean, the one on the left there, the gyre on the left, this one up here, is that's a 230, and that thing is just so much stronger than the 130. It's, I don't know. And it's only got a year less on it, you know, age-wise. So, and funnily enough, I do think the 130 in that time has been about a year that it's started to seem a bit shit. And like, you know, I don't know how long you lot have been following me, but there's a point where we're going to be building a couple of pretty serious sized aquariums here. And I am obviously looking into, I would like gyres, to be honest with you. I'd like all the 350s or whatever, the biggest ones they do, a bunch of them. But if I'm going to spend, say, you know, $1.5 grand, $2 grand on pumps that are going to give me 3 years of quality power and then start to get a bit shitty, push it out till 4 or 5 years, and then I'm looking at having to replace them, I don't really want that. I don't know whether it's a big ask or whatever anymore with tech, but, you know, I would prefer to buy pumps and then be like, oh, as long as I look after it, that thing's going to last, you know, don't worry about it kind of thing, where when it dies, but you want it to last more than 5 years if you're spending a couple of grand, you know, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Just a quick couple more interesting points about this tank before I clock off. We've got this Millapora and Forest Fire. They do actually touch through most of the day. You see where the tips are coming together, but there doesn't seem to be any problem. I've never heard of Millepora being particularly aggressive or anything like that, but I do know SPS can be deceptively aggressive, and people don't always realise it. I know there's a lot of Acroporas that if they touch things they can wipe out another Acropora overnight, so a lot of unsuspected stuff. So this is another thing where maybe rescape is in order, or in fairness, I could probably move this entire structure back an inch. I've got the space, so in all fairness, if I did that it wouldn't really be a problem, so maybe I do that, but opinions, you know. This coral up here, it's a Pikachu Acropora. Not going to get that colour, but for those of you who don't know, it's just screwing with the camera, it's not going to be any good, but for those of you who don't know, it kind of looks like, if you could see the picture well, it'd be green, but I can assure you it's not, it's yellow, hence the name. So, but for a month or so, while I had this rocky patch with the nutrients in this tank, that had lost all its colour, and I was terrified that it was going to die off altogether, because that'd be the first quite expensive frag that I've actually bought for this tank. I think I paid about £90 for that. It's already grown, believe it or not. It's that branch coming out in the middle there. I didn't buy it with that, so it's good to see there that it's still growing, regardless of what's gone on with its colour. But week by week now, I'm noticing the colour is just getting stronger and stronger, especially late in the evenings when I've got the blues on. The colour's starting to look really brilliant, but I've got to figure out a way of being able to catch that on film, because you know, some colours are difficult. The hardest colour I've found to get on film so far has got to definitely be yellow, and I'm always on the track for anything yellow. Bit random, but this stag at the back, I'll probably move that. I think I'll probably swap it in place for this one, because the colour's starting to get crazy on this. This coral was near enough white when I bought it. Again, didn't think it was going to work out. It's got all its colour back, and now it's starting to go crazy colours. So I'll probably maybe switch them over and see what happens there. This is meant to be a gold polyp. Never seen any colour on there. Kind of thinking about moving that a little bit higher too, and taking it easy, seeing where that goes. Sorry about the focus there. And one last interesting point to make is this coral. When I moved it, I accidentally broke a bit of it. And you can see there's two separate points where it's planted into the rock there. So this point here was the frag, and I just thought, I'll put it next to it and just, you know, it appears like a bigger frag, bigger colony quicker kind of thing. If you can see there, it's all grown back into itself. You know, I kind of had an idea that had happened, but seeing it, it just seems super cool to me that. You can just see here where the branches are, they've grown into each other. So you can see there that it's, I'm not bullshitting you, that's where I glued it there at the bottom. You can kind of see where it's attached to the rock. Comes up here and straight back into the rest of the colony, and that's the original base there. Getting really good growth on that. So yeah, that was one of the originals for this tank, one of the first corals SPS I ever bought for this tank, coupled with the Forest Fire Millapora. Again, not getting the best colour, so I definitely need to get into that, as well as the Sunset Setosa. So, right all, if you got any questions or anything, leave a comments in the comment section. Please subscribe to my channel, see what's going on in the future, and don't forget to drop us a like, help us out a bit. A lot of big things are going to be happening eventually. I got some quotes and stuff the other day, and we've actually got a date now for work starting on the other building, so exciting times. It's took some doing, but we're getting there. Right everyone, I'll catch you on the next one. Keep it wet. See you later.